we have got ourselves TheMista versus Tunison. And this is going to be a very, very fun matchup here. We got a very interesting draft from both players. TheMista takes that Tsukiyomi that everyone's been grabbing. Tunison says, you know what, I'm going to take something else to give myself maybe a little bit more of a chance here. Trying to go a different angle through. These drafts are so kind of important with like just trying to squeeze as much as you possibly can out of the draft. So for example, if you go for, let's just like think about it this way. If there are like 5 S tier picks or 5 really, really contested picks for like your first sort of couple of picks, and you go for a mirror matchup at the start with Tsukiyomi, that basically means you've lost out on one of your bans. The ace pick is technically a ban on your opponent. If you know your opponent's going to go Tsukiyomi, you grab a different like high tier pick. Now that bans that out for your opponent, and then you can grab an extra 2. And your opponent only grabs 1 there at the start. So you go Tsukiyomi Kronos for TheMista, and Tunison there grabs Fushi, Shinong, and Amaterasu. But nonetheless, our first game is going to be on Ghost Lake here, as we're going to jump into our best of 5 series here. Tsukiyomi, Amaterasu on the map, Ghost Lake. Let's get it. So we spawn in on the bottom side of the map, playing as Tsukiyomi. His name is TheMista. His opponent today in the red color playing as Amaterasu. His name is Tunison. Now, backstory. We are not in the Loki division anymore. We are in the Zeus division. Bam! This Zeus division has been very split. TheMista is on 2 series wins. That means he's won 2 series. Tunison is on 2 series wins. The other 2 players in this group are Grass and Chasing the Sun. Both of these players are on 0 series wins. So whomever wins this series, whether that be Tunison, whether that be TheMista, they will be first in this group. The loser will be second in this group, which means you go through to the playoffs in a little bit of a different position. The next thing to think about, well, third place. The third place also goes through, but you go into the losers bracket. So you kind of go to the playoffs with no lifeline. Nonetheless, let's see how this is going to go. I'm really excited to watch TheMista's Tsukiyomi. I don't think we've had a chance yet to really watch it. So there's always something that he does with these new civs that you just don't see other players doing. And I'm interested if he's actually going to be doing something like that, or if it'll be something else. I don't know. We'll see. He's coming in. He's got his Kitsune searching around here looking for just a little bit of information, a little bit of a goat count at the moment. It is 12 goats for TheMista. On the other side here, it is 6 goats for Tunison, as he does get a little bit unlucky here. He misses those goats, or unlucky is one way to say it. Not paying attention is another way to say it, as he misses those 2. And this is a big advantage here for TheMista, as the Mikos coming out. Kagura comes through for Tunison. And now we see Inari Okami for the Tsukiyomi. Not really surprised to see that. He's got himself 1 shrine, 2 shrine. Not going too overly greedy on those. He's going to be able to drop this shrine onto this position and hit the majority of these berries. I think he misses this one, but it's still like a really nice shrine position. At the top, you can see this shrine hitting a whole bunch of chicken, as well as the wood line. So they're going to be that's going to be a very, very effective Miko there. 0.11 favor at the top here. You aren't seeing Tunison going for long on this one. He's actually looking for relics here. As he comes forward, he's picked up the tail feathers of heaven, making his infantry a little bit stronger. And he grabs this relic as well, which is Gugnir Odin's Spear. Now, this does make the Yati Spearman stronger, but that's about it. As the second age now in, there's a guardhouse up for the Mista. Let's kick this game off. So already something a little bit different. He has to be prepared for dealing with the Ameno Uzume Weasel shenanigans here. That's the thing he's got to be careful with. He's not really able to put a huge amount of pressure onto Tunison with his early advance. Yes, he's got an extra Kitsune out. He gets that for free. He's going to be looking for some pokes in. But with a Miko, it's really not... You're really not going to be able to get all too much damage in as the Kitsune come through, and the villagers will just return back to the wood line here. Meanwhile, this Miko is looking for another relic. There's the fur of Boit down the bottom, which gives the healable healers a regen rate, which is very nice as well. Meanwhile, the Juragumo is on an expedition here, sneaking around. I reckon he's going to go around this backside here. If we take a quick look at what Tunison can actually see, he's not going to be able to see this Juragumo coming until this moment. But he does already have house, stable, dojo, the Juragumo coming in. Will he notice this? Could be a very early villager loss, as the villagers will pull into the tower nicely with the Mikos coming over here now. The villagers onto this side pulling back, and now the Juragumo is just going to say, well, time to just run. Well, he's going to come and pick up a villager. It doesn't really matter so long as he heals it quickly here. He's just got to heal it up. Chucks it over onto the Kitsune onto this side as one tap, two taps, and that will be a dead villager as the Juragumo to pull back home. I thought he was going to be able to heal it and keep it alive, but went for the damage on the Juragumo instead, and Mr. draws first blood, as is so often the case. He is so dominant with these sorts of moves. As the Kamatachi will be able to deal with the Juragumo now, as the return trade comes through, and those Naginata riders are in full force right now as the Kamatachi falls. One villager not quite going down, and the Naginata riders say, okay, we can't hang in here just yet. Got to keep those villagers safe there. That's a very low HP villager. Nonetheless, now Tunison charging forward, and I think the Mr. knows he can't really be taking these fights. He loses a Bushi there as Tunison is on top of those Naginata riders. Another Bushi over onto this side can go down very quickly here as well, as he's trying to just poke everything back. And now Tunison will pull back up to his top. We'll see the villagers making their way over onto this hunt. Dangerous, but he's going to go for it. Mister, on the other hand, inside of his main base, slowly starting to spread out here. He is still building himself Naginata riders. He's pre-queued up Hachiman, but a marker coming down for the Hachiman to come through, as the Kamatachi will sneak in here, and that is going to be a dead Kamatachi there, as he does decide to actually Solar Shield it. Not necessarily the best of moves, but a move nonetheless, as you're giving a lot of Bushido actually over. You're giving a lot of Bushido over to your opponent there. You can actually see the advantage heavily in the Mister's favor now after all of the fighting that's happened. Now from here, the Mister still has a lot of wood income. If he wants to go heroic gauge, he might want to pull those villagers onto food, but he might also be just saving up anyways. A little bit of a later advance time, less movement on his economy. He'll spend all that wood in the heroic age or something like that. So now basically what Tunison needs to do is he needs to get some raids in right now. No real units on the back, but just a couple of Yati Spearmen there to defend, a couple of Bushi as well on the defense. To the top side here, the Naginata riders are going to be looking to hit this main base here too. Villagers will pull back. Can he keep them alive? It looks like one villager will end up falling up onto this spot. Even more raids to come through. And it's just a handful of Naginata riders causing a lot of problems in the main base here. In fact, Tunisen's economy is completely idled from that one little raid. Turns around, snipes the low HP villager as well, and then pulls out, doesn't lose much HP on that Naginata rider. Over onto this side now, Tunisen coming through. Can he get that defense in? Or at least some revenge in, as Hachiman is well and truly on the way. And I think Tunisen is in for a very difficult time moving forward. He's got 2 on the Musha out at the moment. And there will be almost immediately 4 Tengu on the map. Plus also the Shogun. Now Tunisen is in full attack mode coming through. We see any attempt at hiding what's coming through. It just builds the Tengu. He's getting himself his upgrade in. Now he drops it onto the temple. The temple going to get targeted down, but that is not going to be dying anytime soon there, as Swampland does get dropped, and that forces Tunisen back for the time being. And can Tunisen win this fight is the big question. Naginata Riders coming over here as the Bushi do pull those units over the Kappas there. As the army on the front line slowly starting to die. The Ondomusha managing to pick another unit there as the Shogun now to come through. Turns around, gets a couple of smacks back here. As the Naginata Riders to poke in onto the back line. Some low HP Naginata Riders could get a little cheeky bit of solar shield on them, but not going to be going for it. Just continuing to take the fight in the center of the map, trying to work that Bushido through. But it looks like it's not enough here for Tunisen, and TheMista has found himself an incredible advantage now moving forward here. And Tunisen does say in that moment there, the game is done. I'm not exactly sure what the plan here was from Tunisen, to be honest. Not sure what the plan was. I think I would have preferred to see him go for Mina Katatomi in this specific matchup. Turtle up. Play for the turtle. Get yourself the heroes out. Get yourself towers up. Those sorts of things. And look for a big fight later on, like with mass units or something like that. But yeah. Doesn't quite work out for Tunisen in this one. Mr. Too powerful for game number 1. Moving to game number 2 and see what they're going to pick. Alrighty. So our next matchup is going to be Hades versus Fushi on the map Giza. Hades versus Fushi on the map Giza. Hades versus Fushi. Alrighty. Now this is a matchup I played the other day, and I felt like it was kind of okay for Hades, funnily enough, but it was a difficult one. You had to play a very nice defense. We'll see how it goes. Tunison is Brazilian, but he lives in the Americas. He lives in the United States. It's not my, I'm not wrong. You're wrong. Let me just double check this. Tunison. Yeah, it says he's United States, my dude. All right. Look, he might be Brazilian, but he's living in America. That's where I'm going. He's playing on an American account. If I look up the Rappel, who he's currently in Austria, he is playing on an Austrian account. We have to change Rappel from Greece to Austria. I don't know. If Tunison's complaining about him being American, then he's going to have to tell me. All right, these guys are on the way for game number 2. All right, so we've got Hades Fushi. On the map Giza, so it's a nice defensive map. Fushi is not the best defensive Egyptian. Not Egyptian. The Fushi is not the best defensive Chinese god because he doesn't have access to that earth wall. But that doesn't mean... My brain is stopping working right now. Let me brain this. Just give me a second. Fushi, not the best defensive god because no earth wall, but it's okay because he's got Juan Nu, which is like the eco god in a very big way. The eco god in a very big way. So you get that reincarnation technology, which basically makes all of your military units worth or cost 20% less or something. Super, super good technology. You can also play one town center here with a whole bunch of chillin', which is really hard for Hades to deal with. So you don't even have to play into a whole bunch of Qualfu. You've got that myth unit angle as well to go for. Normally I've found going 2 TC, if the map allows for it, to be the best way to go for Hades. If your map is bad and you don't have a good second gold mine, then things are a bit tough. You have to play more one town center type ideas. But yeah, nonetheless. Alrighty. Off to the races. We go into game number 2. Alrighty. And we've got Mr. in the top right hand, or just in the right hand corner of the map. And he's going to be playing his Greek here. He goes into Hades. On the left hand corner of the map, we've got Tunison playing as Fushi. And the map is Giza. And yeah, first game there, pretty dominantly going TheMista's way. So we'll see here if Tunison is going to be able to strike back with the Chinese here or not. TheMista does drop himself the storehouse. He also puts a granary up onto this side. He might be going for something completely different here than the fast Vaults of Erebus. But then again, he also might not be. As he loves to do some... He does have that pre-queued, so it's going to be a Vaults of Erebus build. Mr. likes to do things just a little bit differently than everyone else. Nonetheless, we'll check some relics out. Over here, we've got the Blanket of Empress Zoe, which is a bit of building crush vulnerability there. Got the Anvil of Hephaestus here, which is going to be the armory gold cost getting reduced. Over here, we've got the Nose of the Sphinx, which is going to be some hit points for the buildings going up by 15%. And finally, we have Gungnir Odin's Spear, which is going to be Herdman, Hoplite, Spearman, Catapulties, etc., 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 getting some bonus there. As the villagers here finish up on the gold mine, he's going to drop his temple over here. It's a little bit late. He's overgathered gold just a little bit. Not the biggest of deals, but nonetheless. Yeah, you don't have to... Okay, so in my build, where I value scouting as well. I need to get as many goats as I can. Getting out onto the map is the most important thing here for Hades. I don't care about the speed of the Vaults of Erebus in the slightest. I just want my goats. You can put 4 villagers onto wood and gold, and then the next 3 over onto food, and put a granary down, and you're fine. You don't have any idle towns at a time. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but that is possible. Yeah, I know John Arbiter knows Hades inside and out. I think Mista can get a couple of lessons from him. It's gonna be fine. All right. Temple now coming up for Tunison as he is going for a 3 Qualfu opening, it looks like. And he does decide Chi Yao as the god of choice. Must say, in this matchup, I say this for most matchups. The only matchups I like Chi Yao for are matchups where there's going to be some cavalry coming my way. Against Hades, they don't normally go cavalry. Zhen Nu is the better choice in this matchup. Nonetheless, Athena on the way. Pretty competitive time here as the Ajax also going to come through. As let's have a look at what Mr. actually sees. He's missed the majority of the relics here on the map.
Etimos.
He could come over and grab this one. He has spotted that. The Nose of the Sphinx is nice. A lot of this matchup, from what in my experience, is just defense and surviving. So extra hit points on your buildings is going to be really nice. And nonetheless, it does somewhat look like it's going to be a far second town center here for our Fushi player. Drops a military camp actually first. And over onto this side, Mista comes in and he's going to be hitting the Gazelle away. Says, excuse you, if you're not going to be dealing... I'll fix my chair, it's really annoying. If you're not going to be putting these things in the right spot, I'm going to deal with that. Imperial Academy coming in. Tunison now getting himself out some halberdier and all the other good stuff as the Ajax wandering around, looking menacingly at all the other good stuff here. Up onto the top side. Minotaur versus Yatsa. What is happening? Tunison, I must say, you play versus TheMista, and unless you're used to it, unless you've played versus TheMista a bunch, which not a lot of players have, you really do make some very simple mistakes here. Losing a Yatsa this early on versus Hades is a no-go. This is something that very much does not happen. And now the Achilles, Ajax here getting huge value. This halberdier wandering off into the edge of the map. Now we do now have Najjar in. Now Najjar is an amazing counter to these heroes. Super valuable. You can basically trade one Najjar into the Achilles and the Ajax, no problems. And these units are just going to be pulling back. We do see Zom through. As we will have a couple of Toxotes now coming through. There's lots and lots of gold in the bank here for TheMista. He normally saves this stuff up for something important, but in this position, what is he going for? You might be thinking about a heroic age. Aphrodite seems good. Get yourself the Nemean Lion. Get yourself your ballistics. Get yourself a curse. As the Achilles will be leaving the base ever so slightly before coming back. The Achilles just comes in and just smacks the fire archer. Like, I'll just take one little clip of damage there. No need to really do much else. Wait. Does Amelian Man Tunison has got... Oh, he's got a town center. Okay, he's got a town center coming up. His villagers are finishing over off into this position. We do see the Minotaur wandering into the main base as Tunison in some trouble now. He's got to move all of his villagers off of the resources here. A Pioneer would not go astray. This Minotaur is almost down. But just yet again, for the second time in this game, one tiny mistake, one lapse of scouting, and the Minotaur sneaks through. Najara is in. Will be probably a dead Minotaur after all is said and done. Though they have to maybe turn around and actually kill off the Achilles. And even here, now the Achilles can run away. Not even a problem. Will he be able to get away? Kinda. I think he will. Unless you animation cancel it, you will be able to get away. And now the Minotaur is out of here. Huge value for the TheMista. And he is actually now going Aphrodite. But a second town center up for Tunison. He is over onto this gold mine on the bottom side of the map. I'd love to see a nice wall here. Maybe even thinking about grabbing the Peach Blossom Spring to get that food in and going heroic age as fast as possible. Not a bad idea. Aphrodite is so good. You actually, I almost guarantee you'll see Mr. at some point get himself that golden apples deck and have a huge amount of villagers on favor. So Mr. just gets max value out of every little bit of unit that he's got here. Looking forward to poking this one because he does have that curse. He can just attack anywhere, but he doesn't know that there's villagers on that food here, it looks like. Do see a Minotaur coming down to the bottom side. Goes, hello there, Quailfu. This Minotaur will die to the Quailfu if he wants to just turn around and throw stones at it. Wait, one is not going to be enough, though. Obviously feels like... Is it dead? Never mind. Okay, never mind. This is big problems here. We are seeing the villagers wandering forward here. Ford Fortress going to be coming up. One dead Quailfu onto this side as well. I think if he had both the Quailfus attacking it, he would have won that fight. But alas, not the case. As the Achilles trying its best to path block. Crazy micro from the TheMista. And the headbutt comes through as two Quailfu are down. Two Quailfu. Now onto this side, Fortress 30 seconds from completion. Does Tunison see this? He's got no idea. He's got no idea. Gormang on the way. This is good. Gormang in straight into a whole bunch of those, what are they called? The crossbows, the siege crossbows to try and push your way out of this position. I mean, look at these units. They're all basically dead. As the Nijar goes down, he will be able to rebuild that one for cheap. Better rebuild it, otherwise it's going to cost him 300 gold. Another military camp coming up. All of a sudden, Nemean Lion over onto this side. And now the Petropolis start taking down this second town center of Tunison. Tunison does still have 1,300 food over there. He's going to bail on the town center. Pulls all of the villagers off it as the Nemean Lion will be in hot pursuit. But Tunison basically has no better option other than to just retreat here. He does have that Peach Blossom Spring. In fact, he says, I'm going to leave that town center. I'll go for your main town center. If you're going to bail that early, let me kill off your main town center. Is the Tower. This is a nice little option here to sort of push the Petropoli back, but you have to manually control that special ability there. As the curse gets dropped and it hits the Tower. Now no options here for Tunis, and he does get another Tower out, however. Also that late Najar there. Not ideal. The town center on that side is going to be going down. Peltas coming through. Toxotes coming through. His lightning weapons gets dropped down, but restoration is quickly coming through as well. All those low HP units are going to be getting back up to half HP at the very least as the Nemean Lion does end up going down. You have to remember there is this town center up over here, but it is about to fall. To the back, a ballet getting dropped. There is a gold mine over here he could potentially go for. At the moment, Tunison does still have a fairly hefty villager advantage. So long as he can get to a gold mine, get some units out, this is not simple for TheMista. He has to get some actual tangible damage done. Of course, killing off 2 town centers is tangible damage. But some villager kills would go very, very nice. Very, very quickly here. Up onto the top side. Qualfu trying to grab this town center, but TheMista is already after it. The White Horse Cavalry, at the very least, will be somewhat of a assistance over here. The army can slowly start moving around and trying to put a stop to all of that. There's more White Horse Cavalry on the way. Going down, the White Horse Cavalry will be able to catch out the Petropolis at the very least, as they do get left alone here. Just trying to pick off all of this. He gets 2 taken out, and then he has to pull back. Good win there for Tunison. So he'll try and bring himself back ever so slightly. He's sneaking onto a gold mine at the top of the map here. Not a bad idea. Qualfu running straight into the firing line of all of those arrows there. As the villagers have to come through onto this top side. Does have to delete a military building to make that happen. Does TheMista know there's a gold mine at the top? He doesn't know there's a gold mine at the top here. He should, because there's a gold mine at the bottom of the map. But that's easier said than actually noticed in an actual game. But he is up onto this gold mine now. Slowly starting to get that gold through. 52 villages to 45. Military differential obviously favoring TheMista. If we take a look at, he's got his golden apples in. As the army over here for Tunison does get caught out, as TheMista is red hot on that tower. And that's gigantic there, as the White Horse Cavalry coming over onto this spot. He's going to try and bail through here and get onto those Toxotes, but this is not the fight to be taking. And Tunison's army gets obliterated there. Now TheMista says, all right, I've had enough of this game. Let me come take your main town center. And Tunison does a blight. I'm not going to let you have that. I'm going to tap out. GG. Man, what a masterclass here. I mean, this game, similar to the first game in a lot of ways. These sneaky myth unit movements, sneaky movements with the army, catching Tunison out. Like this position here with this gold mine down the bottom. If the wall was up, this would never have been a problem. Tunison had the resources. He just didn't throw the wall down. There was never been a Minotaur that comes through. Would have never lost those Quailfu, for example. If you'd had a hero back, like a Pioneer or something, and the Minotaur comes into his main base, he would never have had to pull back with his army to deal with it. That would have been dead. Even if he just built it when he saw the Minotaur coming through, so many options there. And then on top of that, the way that TheMista comes in with that Achilles as well to prevent the Najjar from chasing down the Minotaur. And look at this. The Minotaur is literally still alive with 753 damage in this game. That's the most wild part about this. How much value he got and it's still alive. Nonetheless, let's jump into the draft and see what's going to get picked for game number 3. Next map is going to be on Mirage, and it's going to be a Gaia or a Zeus versus Gaia game here. So a Zeus versus Gaia game for game 3. So already, I mean, we've seen how good Zeus, how good the Hades was for TheMista in that last game. TheMista on Zeus for Mirage is obviously going to be quite interesting as well. I'm intrigued as to how Mr. is going to be using those tricks that he does, that he uses on a land map, on the water map. Like normally he does like we saw in that first game with Tsukiyomi, advanced a little bit quicker, put some early pressure on. He snuck the Juragumo in, picked off some villages. That second game here with the Hades, he sneaks the Minotaur in. Now, this is not unique to TheMista, by the way. There's other players that do this. Kavoth does this. Recon does this. Rappel does this. Matador does this. If you get that myth unit snuck in with nothing in there, then all of a sudden you get max value. I think the difference might be the decision making from TheMista, where he probably scouts that the Najjar is forward and he goes, all right, let's sneak around and we'll get into the main base there. But nonetheless, I'm not exactly sure what's happening with these guys at the moment. Yeah, we don't have a game lobby just yet, so it's going to be just a little bit of time. No, I mean, the secret to playing against TheMista is you just have to be very aware that he's going to come at you. Like TheMista doesn't care who you are. He's coming at you, and he's gonna make sure he makes the right call, and he's gonna take you out. That's the thing. Zeus is fine against Gaia. I mean, look, it depends on what these guys are really doing. One thing that I think a lot of players do struggle with is they go into these games with a little bit too much of a plan. I think you have to have an open mind as to what you're going to do. So lately we've been seeing on this map Gaia going fast heroic into mass Contarius, which I don't think is going to have a huge amount of success versus TheMista Zeus. But we'll see. Alrighty, so these guys are off to the races here. And I will put the timer on. I mean, there's lots of things that can go wrong on this map, in this matchup. You really have to read the map, make a decision as to what you're going to go for. I know that if you take what, so there's like a couple of people in like the Mr. Circle, right? If you take something that you saw from Eric, who was in the Mr. Circle, he was training with the Mr. with Zeus, played Zeus on this map a few times. Eric loved to go for the fast second town center on this map. Generally, it's a good idea. It's not a good idea every single time because the map does change. You can get good second town center maps. You can get awful second town center maps. So I think if the Mr. gets that good map, that good gold mine spawn, he'll just happily take 2 TC, play a defensive game. We have not yet seen him do that. I mean, at this moment, I don't even know if Tunison is necessarily playing like super bad. He's just like he's getting the misted. Do you know what I mean? Like you're gonna miss a Minotaur walking into your base every other game. Like it's gonna happen. You're gonna get that. That's gonna happen. You have to make good decisions to react to that and things like that. Of course, he made mistakes, but who doesn't make mistakes? Especially when you're playing against someone who's like 2.5k elo. He's literally 2.5k elo. Like he's just better than everyone else. Anyways, so you have to play an insanely good game against the Mr. that actually beat him. You can't make mistakes. No mistakes allowed. Or you have to force the Mr. to make mistakes. Nonetheless, we're going to be getting into game number 3. The Mr. is currently undefeated in this tournament thus far. Not just in series, but in games as well. Will Tunison be able to take the first win off of, or give Mr. his first L in this tournament? Let's find out. In the left-hand corner of the map, the Mr. spawns with his Zeus. One interesting idea here, and I'm not surprised the Mr. didn't do it. It's a little bit niche. You can shoot the gazelle onto the dock and use this as your granary, saving you 50 wood here. Just saying, you could do that. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. We are on the map Mirage. Mirage is the map. It does spawn with some back fish. Nice and safe. And all that other good stuff. All right, let's check out the relics. And then we'll talk about the map and what that's going to bring us. We've got the Ankh of Ra over here, which is going to be some favor trickle. Over onto this one, they've got that Demeter's Throne, making the storehouses, houses a little bit cheaper. Over onto this side, we have the Little Crow Circle, which makes your food and gold cost minus 50% for the weapon upgrades in the armory only. And then finally, Blue Crystal Shard, which makes the villagers' gather rate on gold and wood go up by 5%. So, map spawn. Mr. getting his scouting in. Scouts all the way back because he knows there is a chance there is a gold mine here. And he does note it. And he goes, okay, fantastic. Not only there is a gold mine here, but there are 3 rhinos. This town center is as good as it gets. Probably has to eat the rhinos back here, but he's going to be able to do that. I imagine he's going to be going for a defensive game here. He might surprise me and do something very different. Have to wait and see. Now, on the other side, Tunison also does spot himself having this gold mine. There's not really any problems with you just saying, okay, well, why don't we go 2 TC fast heroic and do exactly the same strategy as we would normally, but with 2 TC instead. So instead of just doing that 1 town center fast heroic through Thea into Mascontarius, why not do it off of 2 TC? I don't know. I think it's a good idea. Not terrible. Nonetheless, just a couple more fishing ships to come through for TheMista. He's got 3 more to build. He's got 3 more in queue. On the other side here for Tunison, he's got also 5 more to build, but he's probably already got some upgrades coming in. He's already got hand axe, pickaxe. So, nice boosted economy here early on for Tunison, as obviously TheMista can't really afford to do that. He'll drop his temple next. And we'll see exactly what his plan is going to be. Now, often, whenever TheMista does these, like, if he's going to go to town center, he might surprise me with something else. But normally when he does these things, it's always some sort of pressure into the town center. So he might go for, like, Jason, Heracles, Minotaur attack, and maybe then also drop a military academy, get some hoplites, a handful, and then drop the town center or something like that. That's often what he does. But he also might not. He's got all the villagers on gold at the moment, all the villagers on wood, just a handful on food, advancing through Athena, got himself that per scene pre-queued, and it's going to be a 5-minute-ish advance time. On the other side, already Oceanus to come through for Tunison. Now, we've been seeing a lot of fast heroics here from Gaia. You don't have to do that. There's also stick it out in the classical age. No problems. Why not? Like, if your opponent, like if TheMista wants to go 2TC here, can I not just crash through this with a whole bunch of Murmillo and a whole bunch of Caladria? I think the answer is a resounding yes there, 9 times out of 10. And then all I have to do is make sure that I catch the villagers and we're in a good spot. Nevertheless, Tunison does actually decide it is town center season. He's got the rhinos, he's got the gold mine, he's also got this oracle sitting just out of line of sight over here. He will need to move forward here if he wants to do anything on this. The Minotaur coming over, and we do see the oracle moving forward. Town center has been spotted here. Has to drop Carnivora soon if he wants to. He's charging forward to see if there's any sort of heroes on this position. There is the Minotaur. Drops the Carnivora down over here, and that does get immediately bolted as the Oracle will get headbutted away before getting chased down as into the main base. We don't actually see any of that early stuff that I was talking about. It does grab himself Blue Crystal Shard, which is nice. Big boost of economy there. And TheMista will be able to spot the town center coming up for Tunison. It is going to be 2 TCs apiece. So no need for a crazy defensive game here for TheMista. So the question is going to be, all right, well, what do we do next? Are we going to go Hoplites? Are we going to go Heroic Age? Are we going to go Hippias? Probably not. We're going to get all our upgrades and then think about what happens next. For Tunison here, the sort of goal in this matchup, in a lot of the Atlantean 2 town center versus 2 town center matchups, the sort of goal is get me to tier 2 economic upgrades. And with Gaia, it's actually get me to tier 3 economic upgrades. As yet again, the Minotaur, just what? Like, how are you getting where's the Caladria? How are we losing? What are you doing over here? How is he getting attacked? This never happens. Obviously, he wants to see what his opponent is doing, but if you just get an extra Caladria. Anyways, Apollo will be coming through. Rhea on the way. Up to the top here. One cheeky little Heracles causing some problems. As I believe these rhinos will be very much caught underneath the town center. A nice play here from Tunison. Very, very calm. Gets everything sorted. Both players will be heading to the Heroic Age, so it will be an interesting sort of 2TC fast heroic thing. Now, this does open up avenues for 2TC fast mythic. So, I don't know. Let me walk, while there's not much going on, let me walk you through some some strategic theory for Age Mythology and most of the other Age of Empires games as well, I think. If your opponent goes 2TC, you can go 2TC yourself. If your opponent goes 2TC, if you go 2TC, you see your opponent go 2TC, now you can go Heroic Age. Or you can go 3TC. If you both go 2TC and you both go Heroic Age, well, now you can both go Mythic Age, or you can spam units and try and kill your opponent. So there's the kind of two options at the moment now. But in Age of Mythology, if you get that Mythic Age off after all of this, then Lightning Storm can break all of that stuff. See this Heracles still just trying to get little bits of damage done. The Millos will be moving up here to defend for the time being. There's Apollo coming through for the TheMista. Pegasus coming in as well. Got ourselves the Bite of the Shark, Frontline Heroics. And the TheMista is going to be wandering forward here, looking for something with all of this, all of these units to do. Galadriel is still just getting his own her own scouting in. Galadriel versus Pegasus is kind of a similar unit. Of course, the Galadriel can heal and stuff, but Pegasus is very quick at 5 speed. That's that 4.8 speed of the Galadriel. As a palace up onto this position to defend. I kind of doubt we'll see the Mythic Age for Tunison or the TheMista here. He's getting all of his upgrades. And you can see he's trying to stay competitive here. But Tunison, as you can see, goes straight for the tier 3 upgrades. Super important here as the villagers will make their way up to the top. Another palace going down here. This is very, very defensive from Tunison. Double fort, double palace on this position. In the main base here, of course there is the underworld. Of course there is. So he needs a palace on this spot. He needs a palace to defend this. The main base is sort of open, but you've got enough towers here, get watchtowers, and that's going to be somewhat of a defense. The TheMista, scouting with the Pegasus. Nothing really here. Of course, as well, a whole bunch of destroyers or even fanatics aren't a terrible idea here for Tunison. You can get that technology here and go into fanatics. As we see Helios pre-queued. Tunison wants his Mythic Age. Ontarius over here do get greeted in the middle of the map. Over onto this side. Another palace coming down for Tunison. He is full palace gaming at the moment. And TheMista is literally already over here spotting this going up. And this is going to be Underworld Passage. It has to be. That's 5 citizen there. Is he going to be fast enough? He gets his units into a position now. No. No Underworld. There are a couple of Arcus already over here. We do have Horns of Consecration coming through, so it will be Fanatics. Another palace for Tunison. He is literally full palace gaming. As the Fanatic numbers will slowly start to come out. He's got to distract with Contarius. The units here fending off Tunison at the pass, but he misses it. Mister's paying attention to something else here. As at the very least, the Contarius will come through, and now the TheMista pushing into the main base. He's got to make something happen with this army before all the Fanatics come through, because these will devastate those hoplites. The military barracks will come down. Contarius is searching around. We do have Mr. in position to defend his resources over here. No problems there. Military barracks coming up, going down for Tunison. The main base is also open. No palace here. Maybe he needs to drop another one. Alternatively, he can just come over and actually defend himself. But does he have enough stuff here? It's 5.2k military resource value to 3.4k. Temple going to go down. Upgrades coming through. Got that Aegis shield. Heavy infantry. TheMista going after the main town center here as the citizen's going to be falling. There is a Carnivora. There is a traitor. He steals away the Manticore onto this spot. As TheMista here has so many more units than Tunison does. Restoration coming through. Yes, he's fighting underneath the town center, but look at the military resources just falling here for Tunison. He pulls back. As the Arcus trying to poke these units down. Fanatics getting in, doing what they can. The town center with all those citizens garrisoned inside does hit somewhat hard, but there's just so many units, and Tunison just does not have an answer to TheMista's Zeus here. The one weakness in his position was that main base. The one weakness. And TheMista says, hey, hang on, if you're going to put four palaces up to the top, so I'll just kill your main base. Tunison pulls his citizen back into these towers here. They're going to be going down. And Tunison, unfortunately, for Age of Mythology fans, left, right, and center, we do not see a defeat for TheMista. In the group stages. TheMista will finish this group stage 9-0. 9 wins, 0 losses, 3 series wins. Doing it in style. Shows off the Zeus, the Hades. He's got it all, man. I mean, here's the thing. These palace here, this was the mistake from Tunison. He defended this position. He defended this position. He needed to defend this position next. And then he can just sit back and he can mass up these fanatics that he wanted. And he's not in a rush. Right? This gold mine, 600 gold left in it. Don't have to be up here just yet. Get yourself the full army. And then we push forward with that army. And then we're good to go. But, man, TheMista makes it look so easy. It's not. This is not simple. It's not easy. But a well-played game from TheMista. Better luck next time for Tunison. But he's not out of the tournament. And not only that, he's not really that much worse off. He comes second in the group, means he goes onto the playoffs with another life intact. Nonetheless, if you guys are enjoying this series, enjoying this cast, enjoying the tournament, all the other good stuff, make sure you hit the follow button on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.